Sup peeps, my name's Ian and I sell books on eBay. I'm here. I'd covered the camera and forgot, but now it's back. Anyway, today is Thursday, the 14th of September. It is 9:04 AM in the morning. That's your time check. The weather is miserable. It's a bit chilly, it's grey, smirry, spitting a wee bit of rain, so I won't be going out much today. Well, post office, a couple of other things. But we're here to look at today's orders. Well, yesterday's orders and this morning's orders. And there might be another couple before my 11 o'clock cut off. But anyway, let's have a wee look at them. One kind of interesting sale, a few singles, a few bundles, pretty much the norm. Not a great day of sales. What was it, 11 in total orders to go out this morning, and there was a couple yesterday after I'd done my initial pack, the orders that came in that then had to go out on the day. So I've maybe had 13 orders in total over the last 24 hours. Yeah, let's just crack on and have a look at them. First up, Jeffrey Archer and Richard Osman. So 3 Archer paperbacks and 2 Little Richards. Little Richard, you know what I mean. These are going to, where's the postcode? PR4, and they paid £13.5 in total for that. So my postage is now £3.65. I moved it up a wee bit because I was getting too many people claiming the book hadn't arrived, and Royal Mail not providing any information until it was delivered, just sending it as second class. So I've changed that. Everything's now going tracked, which costs more, so therefore the postage price has gone up as well. Now, let's get these stacked and packed. And I'll get them sent out to wherever it is they go. Wrap that up. And some may be glad to know I finally remembered to buy sellotape. So no massive screeching of tape when I'm trying to put my bubble wrap together. I hope that's an improvement. So now we can do that. Is that better? Got better noise? Yeah, that's a much better noise, isn't it? And we have our padded bundle, and we'll stick it in a bag. Now, last few days I've been talking about pricing. I hope it's been of use to some. If there's anything else anyone's interested in, please ask. I probably don't know the answers, but it might be something I'm familiar with and can help with. You never know. 1710. What did I say this was going again? PR somewhere. PR4. Yeah, so the pricing has been my chitter chatter. So let's make it something a bit different today. My sales have not been great. They've not been like apocalyptically bad, but they've not been great. So why? And when you've got bad sales, what should you do about it? Or slower sales. The one thing you shouldn't do is complain. My sales are terrible, eBay's rubbish, it's all somebody else's fault. Nonsense. You've got a platform which has millions of buyers across the planet. You get all the tools you need to create good quality listings fairly easily. When I first started doing eBay, you had to get an old digital camera, take a picture, somehow get that onto your computer, list it all up, everything done slow and plodding, making your own arrangements for payments, all sorts. It was a chore, but it didn't feel like it at the time because it was something that hadn't existed previously. Now it's a doddle. You can do it all on your phone. When I was doing this, smartphones didn't even exist. So all the tools are there. There's stock aplenty. However you want to buy it. Charity shops, auction sites, card out sales, bit of retail arbitrage. You know, there's loads of options. You ain't going to struggle. And this is a bundle of Terry Pratchett, Bill Bryson, what was the other two? Charles Dickens, and Biased by Dr. Jennifer Eberhardt. And it's going to CO16, and they paid £15.10. And it's just under 2 kilos, which is excellent because that keeps the postage down. So that's a nice sale. Yeah. You've got the tools, you've got the stock, you've got your own mind. Your mind is very important. What else do you need? Coffee. Although I have to confess that's actually decaf just now because I've been chugging it back this morning. Right. This screen keeps jumping a bit all over the place. Right, next up we've got a wee single book. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It's been very popular lately, Matt Haig. I don't know if he's got a new book coming out or people are just getting into him or whatever. But anyway, that one only sells for $2.70 plus postage, so it was a promoted sale. So it's really, you know, maybe 50-60p I make on that one. But that's the idea. Lots of pennies turn into pounds. Anyway, don't complain about it. That's the key thing. If you've got a daily target, and that daily target is, I'm going to say, 20 sales a day, and you're only averaging 10, you haven't succeeded. So because you haven't succeeded in achieving your target or your goal, you need to get something else from that experience. You need to learn. So you're either going to succeed or you're going to learn. There's your only two options. So if you're trying to sell 20, which essentially is what I'm trying to do, but I'm only selling 10, 12, 11, 13. That was counted in a funny order, but you know what I mean. What can you learn from that experience? 270 grams, and Matt Haig is going to SW4. So what am I learning? Right. My sourcing has changed over the last 2 to 3 weeks. I used to be out every day picking up, you know, a few dozen books, hitting all the popular authors, the authors that I know I sell often. Recently, I've not been able to do that. Next we have A Streetcar Named Desire, Tennessee Williams of course, and this is going to E5, £2.85 plus postage. So I've not been able to do that, and it's been a tad frustrating. There are reasons why I've not been able to do it. The biggest one being is I've got bills to pay, so I don't have as much money available for restocking. I've had to stop expanding and actually pay a couple of bills, and I'm not making enough money to continue with a huge expansion whilst also trying to live at the same time. So I'm down to 1 or 2 days a week. I'll go out and try and do a big pickup. Now I've got a pickup I do every weekend, which gets me hundreds of books at a really good price. It's usually a really good mix. I find lots of the authors that I sell frequently, and a stack of either new authors where I'll find bundles of them, or kind of unique and slightly rarer books. Over the last couple of weeks I've been finding lots of unique and rarer, but I've not found anywhere near as many of my usual authors. So I've not been updating those listings with anything, because there's been nothing to update. E5, I said this was going to, didn't I? Yes. And I'm quite sure that's having an impact. For example, I had a Terry Pratchett book going out a moment ago. I have maybe 6 Terry Pratchett books left, and that's down from about 30. James Patterson, instead of picking up 40, 50 a week of those, I have maybe picked up 20 in the last 2 weeks. So although I've still got a lot of them in stock, I've not been updating that listing. And that continues right across the board. So that will have an impact on what's getting sold. I've got a lot of people watch my big bulk listings. When there's new stuff added, I'm sure they get some sort of notification. And it's like, oh, there's something new, let's go and have a look. Oh, I want that one, let's get that, and another 2 or another 4. If I'm not adding to those, that's not going to improve. So that will have an impact on the sales, and I think that probably accounts for a large part of it. Also, I've been playing with my promoted listings rates. I'm trying to find a sweet spot. So I brought the rates right down to get a kind of reset on them. And obviously I knew that would impact the sales. That's always going to slow things down. 2 Douglas Adam books going out now to HX2, £9.15 all in for those 2. All in. Ooh. So that was always going to take a wee hit on the sales, and now I've got them where I think they should be, my promoted rates. And as I have spoken about before, paying a greater rate for promoted listings does not necessarily get you more impressions. It gets you better quality impressions. So instead of, you would think, oh well, instead of paying 2%, I'm going to pay 10%, so I'll get 5 times as many views on my items. You won't. You'll get a few more views, but the views that you get will be people much more likely to spend their money on eBay. If you're paying 2%, then most of the people that you'll get in there looking at your items are folk who, for every 100 visits, and this is me making numbers up just to kind of illustrate the point, for every 100 visits they'll buy one thing. If you're paying 10%, then you'll maybe get people who every 100 visits they're buying 10 things. If you pay 20%, for every 100 visits they're buying 50 things. So that's what the promoted listings value really adds. 360 grams for this one. Where did I say it was going? HX2? Yes, I did. So I'm trying to find the sweet spot there to get enough of those good quality listing views without it absolutely decimating my potential profits. So when I'm messing about with that, I knew that would have an impact, and it did, and hopefully it will now be on the upward trend. Stack of Philippa Gregory going out next, 4 paperbacks and a hardcover. And these are going to CT9, £13.60 in total, so £9.95 plus postage. Right. I was a civil servant for many years, and we get sent on all sorts of training courses all the time. Most of them are a complete waste of time and money. That's what your tax dollars going on. But there's a few things within those that were repeated often and make sense. If you keep doing, it's not exclusive to civil service training by the way, it's a pretty standard thing. If you keep doing the same thing, expect the same results. So if you're not achieving what you want to achieve, and you don't know why you're not achieving it, then you need to come up with all the possibilities, all the probabilities as to what's preventing you achieving the results you want, and change things. If you don't change things, nothing else will change. Your sales will not change, your productivity will not change, your output will not change, your success will not change. So you make a list and say you come up with 10 things that could be causing you not to achieve what you're trying to achieve. 2,300 grams, CT9. So you've got your list of 10 things. Let's say titles, price, promoted listings, quantity of stock, whatever those 10 things might be, you've got them there. Now if you go and change all of those 10 things and you're still not succeeding, then which changes have had a positive impact and which have had a negative impact? You don't know. If you change all 10 things and you do succeed, again, which changes had a positive impact and which changes had a negative impact? You don't know. They might all have been positive. Who knows? If you didn't succeed, they might all have been negative. If things got worse, they could all have been negative. But within those 10, there might be 1 or 2 things that have made a big improvement, and then 8 things that have made a small detriment to what you're trying to do. So you need to be clever. One thing. Change one thing. Before you change it, make sure you understand what it is you're trying to measure. So it could be as simple as overall sales. Have my sales increased? Has my average item price increased? Have the views increased? Have the likes, have the watches, have the whatever it might be increased or gone up? Or if there was a negative element you were measuring, has that decreased? So you change that one thing. You make sure that you're aware of how long that change is likely to take to have an impact, to show a different outcome. And then you wait and watch and measure. And you see if that has made a difference. If it makes no difference, then the change made no difference. If it had a negative impact, then you know you want to change it back. If it had a positive impact, fantastic. And you can consider whether or not there are further steps within that particular type of change that you can make. I'm going to try to get the air out of this bag. Sleep. Do that. Yeah, other further changes that you can make within that same scope that will improve things further still. So you do that with the first thing. And when you're considering these things, you want to consider, well, which thing do I think is most likely to be causing the greatest blockage, the greatest barrier? You know, is there waste? Is there just negative impact? And once you've got that first thing dealt with, you move on to the second thing. And you do the same. Ooh, 99 grams. 99 grams for Asterix. And it's going to RG22. And you work through your list. And when you get to the end of that list, you see where you're at, you check your stable position, and then you start again. And even if things are going well, you're going, oh, I want to make 20 sales a day, and I'm making 20 sales a day. Do the same thing. Go through everything that you could, all the different options you've got that could improve what you're doing. Choose one of them and look at how you can change that. Try and understand why it's successful and how you can make that even more successful. You know, if you're selling clothes or ornaments, something where pictures make a big difference, then is there something you can do that would improve the quality of your pictures and thereby improve the quality of your sales? Next up, 3 Ian Rankin hardcovers. That was me trying to amalgamate Ian Rankin and Ian Banks there. These are going to FK5, £12.15. Yeah, so if you're looking to improve the quality of pictures and you're doing everything with your phone, for example, then how much of an improvement might you get from investing in a good quality camera, a light box, etc.? What would that cost you? What would that potentially get you in improved sales? And normally for that you would say, right, okay, at the moment I'm doing £100 a day in profit. To do £200 a day in profit if I take better pictures. Or I would like to do £200 a day if I can take better pictures. That camera's going to cost me £1,000. Again, made up numbers, just keep them nice and round. So therefore, the first 10 days of your improved profit with your improved pictures is going to pay for that camera. But you don't know that will actually work, so that's where the risk comes into it. The risk is making changes may have a detrimental effect in itself. You know, improving your pictures is unlikely to decrease your sales, but it may not increase by the amount you would hope, in which case that 10 days to pay for the camera might be 100 days. You know, maybe you're going to make an extra £10 a day because you've got better pictures, so it'll take you 100 days to pay off the investment that you've made, which again isn't a bad thing, but you've got to take that risk into account. It also might mean that, you know, if you're sitting on your phone and you're just making up the list on the phone, snapping the picture, uploading it, and away it goes, that would be great. 2500 FK5. If you've then got a nice camera set up, space, does it take longer to take the pictures on the camera and then get them uploaded onto your computer and then create the listings from there? I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But you need to take that into account. So instead of being able to do 20 listens a day, maybe you've only got time to do 15. Or to do the 20, you're going to have to put more time into it, which means that your hourly rate is going to decrease. So you've got to, you know, take all of that into account, and that will allow you to inevitably, incrementally increase your sales. And it's continuous improvement. The Toyota Way, read the Toyota Way. I had one copy of it a while back, but it sold very quickly. Find it on Amazon or somewhere. It's fantastic. It's all about continuous improvement. And things, in improving your productivity could be as simple as how you set up your desk or a packing table or whatever that could be. If you've got somewhere where you do all your picking and packing and bits and bobs, and everything's spread out all over the place, so you're going from one end of the room to the other, Then you're having to come back and move that to get to this, to go over there, to do the other. Then that's going to take you, every step, there's a few extra seconds added in. So for every item you're going to pack, maybe it's an extra 30 seconds. So if you're doing 10 items, that's an extra 5 minutes every day. Which, if you've got the time, yeah, who cares? But if you want to do 100 items, then that's an awful lot more time wasted. And enough that improving that process would actually make quite a significant difference. This is a Stephen Lawhead book and it's going to G33. So with your systems, practice different things, try different things. I've got my scales just there. I pick my books and I put them out in order in front of me on my dining room table. I've got my scales to the right of me, my bubble wrap to the left, grab the book, wrap them, tape them, weigh them, put them in the pile. And that's as far as I need to go. The computer screen in front of me, so I know which orders I'm picking up and working through. And that means I hardly have to move, and it's about as efficient as I can get with the space I've got available. Your storage, so if you've got a couple of hundred items and they're all just bundled in a cupboard, every time you need to get something, you're going to have to dig through a couple of hundred items to find it. You might find it straight away. You might look at 199 before you get to it. So get a different process in place for that, so that when you get something, you can find it in X amount of time. You know, work it out, say, right, I don't want to spend any more than 20 seconds locating an item. And that 20 seconds could be just how long it takes you to actually walk to your storage area and grab it. Or once you're in your storage area, you say, right, I only want to spend a few seconds picking each item as you work around, and that will allow you to be as efficient as possible. Anyway, these are all the wee tweaks and changes or variations of which I am looking at the moment to decide which one to work on next to get those sales up. I think the first one I'll be looking at is the sourcing issue and making sure that I'm picking up more of the right kinds of books, which this wasn't, but they're doing very well. It's a Pink Floyd book, The Treasures of Pink Floyd. Found a whole stack of these in the shop at the weekend. Lots of watchers. This is the first one to sell, and it's sold for £4.75 plus postage. And ironically, I picked these up in Kilmarnock, and this one is going to Kilmarnock, actually somewhere I'm driving past later on this morning, so I think I'll just be dropping this one off. Wow. Yeah, that's a bit of an oddity, shall we say. Anyway, I'll get it packed up regardless of whether or not I'm dropping it off. Keep it nice. Treat everyone the same. So wrapped, taped, I forgot to say bagged. Bags within reach. Bag it. Yeah. That's another saving that you can make. If something's too difficult to pack, how you're trying to do it, give up, leave it, and find a different way a little bit later, that you'll then know when you have something similar to pack again, you can do it that way. Bagged, weighed 800, and it's going to KE3. What's in the pile? Right, we've got one more to do. This was the good sale of the day, and if anybody watched my expensive books video that I put up I think yesterday, I've got a lot of signed by the author books which are worth quite a bit. This one got a bit of an honourable mention. Stephen Erickson, Reaper's Gale, the Malazan Book of the Fallen series, a huge series of books. I picked up two of these at the same time that were signed. The other one sold really quickly. This one sat for a little while. There's his Autograph, really popular fantasy range, and that sold for £21.85 plus postage. So we'll get this wrapped up nice. This is going to LL61, and as I say, it's the last order of the day to go out. That's nice. I get any more in before 11, which I hope I do. Maybe £500–600 worth of sales would be great. And having said, the last little word in the whole continuous improvement to get things going better. I'm saying doing one thing at a time. There might be multiple things that you can do at the same time, because you can measure their success separate from each other. So if you're trying to do something that gets you more sales, more views, more sales, etc., then you can do that. But if you also want to improve your packing process, you can do that at the same time, obviously, because that's not going to have an impact on the number of sales that you make, but will make you more efficient in processing those sales. If you want to improve your picking process, does that require further education? So because I sell books, I watch a lot of booktube videos, you know, people doing reviews and talking about collections to see what's popular out there that I've never heard of, you know, see what is available that people might go, oh, you like them, and they will come in and buy them. Is it how you go about picking things up? Do you go into the shop, again let's talk about books, 600 grams for that, 650. Do you go into the shop and scan every book to see what it's worth on Amazon and eBay and Ziffit and all of these different things? Or do you just have a really good idea in your head about which authors you want to grab? Does it take you an hour to get 50 books? Or can you go in and pick up 50 books in 10 minutes because you know what you're looking for? If that is what you're already doing, does that mean that you're maybe missing out on stuff because you're not checking it? Is there something you need to tweak within that part of your process to do that? But all of these things will add up incrementally and improve productivity, profit, volume of sales, etc. If you change nothing, nothing will change. If you expect something to change when you're changing nothing, then you're mad. So incremental changes, continuous improvement, that's the way forward. That's me done for the day. So I'm going to say bye, love ya.